Lists. List is a mutable data type. What do you mean by mutable? The value of the individual element inside a list can be changed in place. Suppose there are 10 elements in a list, you can change the value of any one element that you want. The elements inside a list are indexed and ordered like strings. It has both positive index starting from 0 from left to right and reverse index from -1, same like strings. The elements may be of any data type inside a list. You can have integers, floating point numbers, strings, tuples, list, nested lists, then dictionaries, anything. So this is an example of nested list, list inside another list, list inside that list. Okay, and empty list is also allowed in Python. You can have a variable equated to an empty list. Okay, now how will you create a list? First type, you can directly assign a list, give a variable name list1 equal to within square bracket, give the values separated by commas. Or you can ask the user to type a list directly. In that case, if you simply give an input statement, it is considered as a string. So you have to give eval of, which will evaluate the brackets and consider that as a list. So you will assign the variable is equal to eval of input and ask the user to enter a list of values. Or you can convert a sequence data type like a string or a tuple or a dictionary and convert that into list using list of function. Or you can create a copy of an existing list. Suppose you have a list called L1. L1 dot copy will create a copy of the existing list. So these are different methods to create a list. Now what operators work in a list? This is the same as strings. Plus operator is used to concatenate, that is join two lists. So when you use a plus operator, don't try to concatenate a list and a number. It won't work, it will cause an error. Star operator will replicate, that is the number of times you want to multiply a list. For example, give a list L equal to 1 into 2 into 3. You can have L plus another list 3, 4, 5. This is allowed because plus operator can be used to join two lists. Whereas try to give a list with a number, it won't work out, it will cause an error. If at all you want to add 3, give that 3 as a list, then that will work because you can add two lists. Same way, concatenation is a list multiplied with an integer. You cannot use a data type like float to multiply, which will cause an error. So you don't call it as multiplication operator, it is called as replication operator, which will multiply the list n number of times. Right? Then you can use in and not in operator to check if a value is present. It is same like how you check using in and not in strings. Slicing is exactly the same as a string. For example, you have a list like this. You can do forward slicing, reverse slicing, everything as we did in the strings. If you want to do it in the reverse method, give the step value in negative, right? So this is how you do slicing. If you have any doubts, refer to the string videos posted earlier. Next, how to access an individual element in a list. If you have a list, give the name of the list followed by the square brackets and give the index number. List1 of 1 is number 20. Okay. Then I'm creating a copy of list 2 to list 1 as list 2. Now what will happen here? Now I am trying to change the value of list 1 index 1 as 22. So this 20 will be changed as 22. But the problem is I have created a copy here, list 2 equal to list 1. When you directly assign a list into another list, it will create a false copy. So making a change in the value of a list will also affect the other list. I will show you how this happens. Say you have list 2 equal to list 1. List 2 equal to list. Okay. So what is there in list 2? 12, 23, 45, the same one. List also has the same. Now I'll try to change the value of list 1 as 100. So check the value of list. Now check the value of list 2. The same 100 is also happening in L2, which I never mentioned. The problem is when you directly equate a list like this, it will create a false copy, which means there are no two lists, there is only one list with two names. To avoid this problem, you have to assign L3 equal to L dot copy, which will create a true copy. When you copy a list like this, it will create two different lists. Now let me try to change list of 4 as 1000 and try to print a list. 1000 is here. Let me check if it is changed in list 3. No, because I have created a true copy. So, or don't assign a list directly to another list, which will create a false copy. If at all you want to copy, give list dot copy with an open close bracket, which will create a true copy. Okay. Then if you create an element in a list, how to access a nested list? This is what you have to learn. When you have a list like this, a nested list, see how many elements are there in the list. This is index 0, index 1, index 2 and index 3. So L of 2 has a list inside it. So if you want to access an individual element in L2, you have to add another index L2 of 1, which will give the index of index. So you can keep on adding. If you have 3 nested lists inside, you can keep on adding the index numbers so that you can see L2 is this one. Inside that index number 1 is this. So this is how you access index numbers. Now 1, 4, 2, 5. Now look at this. You can also access an element like this. When you have indexes like this, always operate the innermost value. What is L of 0? 1. So substitute this L of 0 in this place, which will give L of 1. What is L of 1? 4. See? So this may be asked in 1 marks also. So this is how you give nested index numbers like this. Okay. Hope you understood how to access a list. In the next video, we'll see what are all the different methods that are used in list manipulation. Thank you.